Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is David Novak. I am closing in on the end of my second notebook. I'm trying to write less, but I've gone down and pulled out a third notebook. Now underneath this tape, it says, I think it says dried herbs, something like that. I have no idea what was in here before. If it was mine or if it was my partner's. Obviously, some pages have been torn out, so it's less than 70 sheets. I hope I don't have to fill the whole thing up. But while I was down there, I've been thinking lately of wanting to do not exactly a deep dive, but do some kind of dive on this channel pertaining to Michael Ventura, a writer who has been very important to me. I don't know if he's still living, but he would probably be pretty old at this point. And so I pulled out, what I used to do is print out things. And so he was a columnist, and I printed out a file of his stuff. Michael Ventura. And so I thought I would go through this stuff and look at it. But the very first piece that popped out was very germane to this time, Se Puede. I think it was a set of 4 columns, as I recall. I just looked it up because it never occurred to me to put down the date, and it was from 2006, this particular, there are beautiful archives of Michael Ventura online, or at least were previously. But I think it was 2006. I would have discovered him probably 5 years at least before that. He gave up his column before the Trump era because he felt he didn't have a lot of time left, and so he wanted to concentrate on his own writing projects, his novels or other things. I think he has a book out about a film director, Cassavetes. I don't know the director that well. Back in the day, there were, I think, 4 essayists, in Ventura's case, a columnist, whose work I really liked. I think maybe I had just for the first time discovered the essay form. I loved Michael Ventura. The others were Theodore Dalrymple. That's a pseudonym. He wrote for City something or other. I keep thinking City Lights, City Journal. And another was Sven Berkertz. And of those, I kept their books in a special place. I can't remember offhand who the 4th one was, but Sven Berkertz, the last time I encountered his book or books, I really liked a book called Writing or Writings, and I looked at it, I couldn't stand it. I thought, oh, this is pretty awful. He took a turn into very sort of memoir-y type stuff, anecdotal stuff that I had a great distaste for. His original book that made him well known was the Gutenberg Elegies, and I'm sure I still have that somewhere. I have not gone to relook at it. It is possibly dated somewhat because he was just on the horizon of digital publication. And Theodore Dalrymple, the essays of his which I liked, I still like, but he took a turn. Well, he always was very right-word leaning in his outlook. And he just leaned into it further and further along as he got. And so I grew away from him, but I still like very much some of what he wrote. And I have not revisited Michael Ventura in a long time. But this particular piece that I did not select, it just happened to be the thing on top, it's very germane to our time, so I thought I would just read you the start of it. As I say, you can find it online. And the headline is Se Puede. And as I say, I think I have it stapled, so I think it's a series of, well, maybe it's just 2 columns. The second is El Pueblo Unido. Let's see. I keep feeling that I've got a second page stuck here because the length is not right. Well, maybe that's right. So it may be just a set of 2, but let me just read you the start of it. Almost everyone agrees that undocumented Hispanic laborers, most of whom are Mexican, work well and hard at jobs Anglos won't do. Informed people know they pay taxes and hence are not stealing medical, social, and educational services. Not many are aware that almost 50% of Latino immigrants are homeowners and that 80% of second-generation Hispanics graduate high school, the week, April 24, page 4. Many praise their extended family values, and some have connected those values to this fact. And as immigration has surged, violent crime in the U.S. has fallen 57%. The week, ditto. All of which describes pretty good neighbors. Still, they're called illegals. They're called aliens. And the most repeated arguments against their new mass movement are: 1, they're breaking the law just by being here. 2, they should not be allowed to cut to the front of the line before legal candidates for citizenship. And 3, many Republicans and some worried African Americans bristle at the Hispanics comparison between the civil rights movement and the immigrant demonstrations, pointing out that black protesters in the 1960s were American citizens and endured many centuries of enslavement, rapes, lynchings, and discrimination before they started marching. The New York Times, May 4th, page 1. These views ignore or show ignorance of the economic and historical contexts of Hispanics, especially Mexicans, in the United States. Yes, technically, undocumented laborers are here illegally. Yes, they break immigration laws. But in their specific case, the laws constitute a lie, because for the better part of a century, these people have been invited here, not by law, not by public pronouncement. Nevertheless, by intention, they have been invited by widespread and accepted business practice, and every American profits from their presence. Before some amongst you boil over with rage, let me specifically demonstrate, : And that's as far as I've glanced, but he, of my group of essay writers that I like so well, he may well turn out to be the one who is holding up the best. As I say, if you want to read the rest of that, you can look online. I don't know how much time I'm going to be able to give to Michael Ventura, but I have the file up here, and I will just glance into it sporadically. Thank you for stopping by my channel.